Hello everybody, my name is Grim Reaper 2458 and welcome to a brand new series called The Nerf Doctor, where today we're going to be taking a look at a old project that I bought off of eBay, and we're going to try and resurrect it and hopefully make it better. This series is going to hopefully teach some people what not to do and teach some people what to do. I'm not saying that anybody is bad, I'm just saying that this was a failed project and I'm going to try and revise it and try and make it better. I'm going to try and film as much as I can that's not like lap cam stuff of just sanding. So today we have a box from eBay. Surprisingly, it's not from Amazon, even though it's an Amazon box. I found this on eBay. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but I found this blaster on eBay, this integration, and clearly in some bad condition. And judging by the description, this blaster here was just modified in probably 2015 or so, when Nerf modding or wiring coops method was pretty hot. That's what the description had to say, I guess. And the integration isn't done very well. I'm not going to be too critiquing before I look at it in person, because I've only seen it in a couple pictures. It was on auction for $15 with $15 shipping, so I got this thing for 30 bucks, which is not bad. Let's see if it's in frame, because I really don't want this out of frame. Alright, we got the paper towel. We'll take a look at the blaster in a sec. Came with a Spectre barrel, which is not bad. It's an Elite Spectre barrel that's been painted, but, you know. We have the Modulus sight, which is funny, I'm working on a Modulus right now. The paint's very thick. It's very chewed up, but maybe I could do something with that. The magazine's in here. I studied this thing religiously because I just love to see it. We got a dog poo bag, hopefully with some darts in it. We'll take a gamble. This is full of just some elite darts, probably some FJs. I'll see if there's any actual elite darts in there and keep them. And then we have a 6-round magazine. And we have a 12-round magazine. Now, let's get into this. Just the meat and potatoes. It is a Nerf Strayven. And wow, this thing is... Okay. So one thing off the bat you're going to notice is the paint job. But thing one that I noticed... There's yellow in here. This Raven was a stinger. Can we all take a moment to mourn the loss of a stinger Raven? Alright. Now this thing is just painted black with some white. The integration, the Raven is like this. The bottom bit was cut off. The mag well piece is missing. It's not painted on the inside too much. The angle is off this way and that way. It's very heavy. Locks have been removed. He said that it didn't fire up when he, in the description, he said it didn't turn on probably because of the batteries. Oh my god. Okay, so one thing I noticed off the bat, other than this chewed up battery compartment with some wiring we're going to take a look at. Look at this contact. I hope that's doing it justice. The thing is bent. What is the Raven? This poor stinger Raven gonna look like? Kind of scared. Oh my good... Huh? Did you just see that too? I unscrewed this, and this shatter of the battery door is stuck. It's super glued in place? Alright. Well, the points in the middle of the battery tray were carved out. Yes, it is a stinger. We're gonna have to move past that fact that it's a stinger. But the battery contacts are fucked up. Alright. Well, we also have the mourn the loss of the Raven battery door. Oh, god damn. Alright, well that took a piece of plastic with it. I'm gonna actually have to cut that. Do it properly. This is gonna be a way bigger project than I thought it would be. It is unfortunately missing some screws, but let's take this apart and see what's on the inside. Alright, just undid all the screws. And she's rough. She's very rough. Oof. Alright, I don't think I'm emotionally prepared to see what's in this. Alright. Nothing too bad. Hopefully my hair wasn't in frame. Alright. So, we got a basic strife rewire. More than the loss of a Stinger Raven. He didn't cut the rail and didn't lower this. And it appears to be a mix of putty and hot glue for this integration. Also some wires in here. Alright, I can work with this. I can do something with this. And hopefully we can bring this thing back to life. And I just lost that spring. So for this handle portion, I remember zooming in on it and seeing that it didn't have the Raven spit there. But I thrifted a dead Stampede. This thing is terrible and I plan to minimize it. But I also had the idea of just cutting off the Stampede here and merging the bottom of this grip to the Raven handle so it's cohesive. But we'll explore that more as the time comes. I'm going to take everything out. I'll show you the wiring job because people might be interested in the old wiring job. And then work at separating the two shells, and let's see how it goes. Alright, got this zoomed in a bit so you can see what I'm seeing here. So the switch appears to be the stock switch with some masking tape on that. It's yummy. This broken solder joint, which was probably contributing to why this is broken in the first place. I bought it as broken. I can't imagine why. But yeah. Looks like the thermistor was removed, and this was just the stock cage and wiring. I'm not going to need any of this. I'm just going to throw that out. I might take the silver screws out of it. These guys, but this cage has probably seen enough with IMRs because this was sold to me as something that I would use IMRs with, and we are not using IMRs anymore. I don't know if the dude converted to LiPo or meant to, because the battery tray's carved out. I just don't understand. I keep this switch too, because why not? So we got the thing completely dismantled. I set all of our parts aside, and I'm gonna try and dislodge the two shells. Ugh. I'm gonna dislodge the two shells, and yeah, I'll tell you what I went through and what my plan is with this. Oh, you didn't see any of that because I was out of frame. So, sorry about that, I'm kind of stupid. Alright, so I got this two shells off. There's still some work I have to do because this thing is super caked on. The putty is still in a curing phase because the two parts weren't mixed together very well. And so it's sticky, but it's still adhered to it because it's been adhered there for God knows how long. So I'm going to have to take a Dremel to this. But while we're looking at this, to correct the alignment that we had, this was off like this. I think it's off like this. So we can just cut off the necessary bits right now. I like to cut on this line below the strife. Cut that off. And then you might have issues with running into here, but you can always cut that off because you just need the spring return, which is the middle peg, or you can use any of the pegs really. So I'm going to do the necessary modifications to shorten this, and then we'll see what we can do with this section. If the Stampede doesn't work, I always have more, or I have a bit of a Raven that I can sacrifice for this. And yeah, we'll go from there. It's a real chore, and this thing already made me bleed, and so it's going to be a pain to get this paint off too. So this is going to be a very legendary revival if we can get this thing back in order. Alright, so I managed to get all that putty off, and I reshaped it, so this is now just one cohesive piece, and it is straight now. It is not bent to one side on either axes. This way, or this way, or up. I have plans. After looking at this, I really don't want to sand all this off. Like I said, for this, we're going to use a Stampede probably, and for this angle that's missing, I'm going to use this little bit, or maybe this bit from a Stampede. Not sure if I'll use that one, but that one's missing its battery door and it's already broken. And I found a long shot at a Goodwill outlet, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. So it's going to be, I have options to either use that here, and cut up most of this bit, and kind of hide all the paint, and then trying to cover as much as this as I can. I don't know if I'll flat top it, because I don't want too much work. I just want something that looks nice, that I can also cut as much work out as I can, because if I'm being honest, I really don't want to sand all this paint off, and I don't think anyone really likes to sand paint off. So that's going to conclude it for our first episode of the Nerf Doctor. Hopefully it was interesting, and hopefully you learned something. As time progresses, I'm going to show increments of work. I'm not going to be showing putting on putty, waiting for that putty to dry, and then sanding that. Maybe I'll do that in the future if I find a faster technique or whatever. But as for now, I'm going to just close out this video, shelf this project for another day. I'll show fitting some stuff on here, because I've made a couple stry shots. And yeah, we'll see how far we get. Hopefully you follow this project, and hopefully this thing will have a very nice legacy after its revival. That is it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, like I said. If you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, put that in the comment section below. If you'd like to consider subscribing, I highly recommend it. I post videos whenever I can, and right now it's weekly. So, yeah. Have a good rest of your day, guys.